TeamGantt is so user friendly, and it allows the schedule to be built from an office perspective and driven, and the pulse be held to it all the way out to the field. It's crucial to have this in place, right?
Hey Matt, thank you a lot for joining us today. We appreciate it.
It's not a problem.
So Matt, could you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Matt Pearson. I'm the Director of Project Management here at Champion Industrial Contractors. Let's see, the types of projects we work on are mostly industrial, commercial. We deal with mostly mechanical moving pieces, right? We can be a prime and a subcontractor on site. A lot of our clients are, food industry and commercial, administration buildings, hospitals, schools, mostly high dollar jobs, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over some of our planning processes. We do a lot of front end here, do a lot of scheduling kind of upfront, preloading into our TeamGantt as far as our project management software goes. We get as much in there as possible so that we can try to iron out as many things in the front end so we have less things in the back end, right?
That's great. What are some of the major challenges that you faced before using TeamGantt?
Mainly just keeping track of documents, right? Construction industry uses mostly a lot of different platforms, from text message to phone to email to face-to-face conversations, and trying to capture all of those tools and resources and documents and put them all into one area has always been a challenge, right? And that's where TeamGantt kind of comes in, where it's going to be a one platform where we store all of our information and start our documents there, right?
What about in terms of like project scheduling and scheduling out the project in the Gantt chart? What were you doing before TeamGantt for scheduling your projects?
I used Microsoft projects before, and just Excel spreadsheets to kind of keep track of things, Google Sheet type things, right? But those can only go so far, and it has, I got to implement a lot of changes inside there as the schedule changes. So that just makes it kind of complicated to roll it out to the field team and the rest of the management when it's only on like an Excel spreadsheet or locked into Microsoft projects, right?
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense. Well, very good. Well, and what did that do to your project timelines or outcomes when the schedule wasn't connected to everybody, but it was more so just on a PDF or something? Did that ever affect the actual outcome of your projects?
Definitely on site. It kept the schedule open-ended. It was hard to really iron down dates, right? When we had a date set there, it usually was a couple of days off because of by the time we got all the information out to the field or vice versa. All of our platforms weren't really updated to what was happening on site. And that's key to, especially having so many jobs. The more jobs you have, the more you need to know exactly what's going on the site, right?
Yeah, definitely. As you're scaling and taking on more work, it's one thing if you have one project at a time, but when you have multiple projects all going on, there's a lot of moving pieces.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. What made you decide to adopt TeamGantt specifically compared to the other options out there?
It was really introduced to me by a coworker, and then I just took it from there and just kept using it. And it's been almost 4 years now. Okay,
awesome. So are you using TeamGantt with Procore or anything, or are you using TeamGantt instead of Procore?
We're using TeamGantt kind of instead of Procore. I see Procore as not being for every company. Here at Champion, the company's 93 years old, and where Gantt kind of works really well with it is it's a blank canvas, and I can kind of modify how it works for this company.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, how difficult or easy was it to get started with TeamGantt?
To be perfectly honest, it's one of the most user-friendly programs I've used. Everything's there. It's on the screen. It's just a matter of clicking it and exploring. What I tell my team is that, it's a canvas. We're going to give them some tools, some paintbrushes and some colors. They're going to paint a painting there. And then, sometimes I like the changes and they come up with, or some of the naming that they come up with their department. It makes more sense for what they're doing.
That's awesome. Very good. Well, do you have a project that you could share and kind of walk us through your process with?
I'll start with our portfolio view. A portfolio view here has all of our project managers, including myself here.
That's great.
And so certain departments have what I call jobs, and jobs are smaller projects. And what we've done with their smaller projects is I've just opened up one big run-on list. So if we click in there, this will have all of their jobs for the entire year, right? The reason why we did it like this is there's a lot of people that are attached to these job lists. And so each time we make a smaller job, we didn't want to have to reattach. And I know we can make templates and stuff like that, but I didn't want to make it more complicated for my team for like this first year of us using it. I figured this is a pretty basic form of getting all the jobs into here. And then what we can see is one big massive schedule if we need to, right? They're just starting to break these up into multiple tasks. I have them bring in the job name, which is the group, right? And then they'll start dropping in their tasks. They usually have a field install task and they have a fabrication task. And so once they've plugged in their job here and started it into their list, then they can go into their custom board, which I call the scheduling boards, field schedule boards, right? So if we pull up this one, for instance, this is the field schedule board and all the things that we have going on currently, right?
I would love for you to be able to like break this down and explain a little bit more. A lot of people don't even know about that boards feature that we have, the custom boards. It's super powerful. Real quick, the custom boards, what that does is it allows you to take tasks from any project and pull it into one single board. Right. So Matt, can you talk a little bit about just the relationship between a board and a project and why you set it up that way?
So the board is managed by our supervisors / project managers out in, like this one, the sheet metal field schedule board. So any labor that's involved with Champion that's out in the field will be brought into this board. This board is all populated from the job lists. The run-on list that we created here, sheet metal jobs in progress, service jobs in progress. Why we created these boards like this is you might have a task that will involve multiple different boards, but you just want one task to be assigned. We don't want multiple tasks to be assigned. So this way we're able to cross-schedule them between the different boards. I know we've got this to a really advanced part of it. So let me kind of start from the beginning. As a job is awarded to us and it needs to go on our minute notes, we bring the job into this list by just starting a new group. From there, we start building tasks that are estimated within the program. So we have a fabrication task, we have a delivery task, and we have an install task. Yep. From there, those tasks are carried over to the custom boards, which here at Champion we call field schedule boards, right? And so once you click on that board, you're able to carry that task over via the inbox, right? And then you can drag that task over into the certain fields. And then, each department has a flat screen in their office that they're able to see this big whiteboard on. The crews can come in and kind of see where they're scheduled, what they're doing for the day, and so on, right?
Yeah. So you're using this as, you've got your schedule. Project manager is probably managing the schedule, and then saying, okay, we're gonna send these tasks to the board, and from there you're splitting out to each person and saying, here's, and this is for them when they come in the morning, they look at this and go, okay, now I know where I'm going today.
Right. And then all these tasks feed back into our project schedule, so that when you're just looking at the schedule, you can see everything that's in fabrication, you can see everything that's scheduled for shipping and receiving, and you can see everything that's scheduled for service, because there's 5 or 6 different departments here at Champion, right?
Right. So that one task is going across 2 different departments.
It could be, yes. Some of them, like this one, is only tasked to this board because it only involves the sheet metal department and one of their technicians. Yep. This task here involves sheet metal and the service department. So that's why there's more people assigned here. But you'll see this task here on this board. So 8950. And then if you go over to the service board, and that's their whiteboard in their office, they'll also see the same task. Well, it's supposed to be here. Things aren't perfect yet, right? Oh, here it is. you'll see the same task here that's on that other board, but now it's on the service board so they can see their task for that same job, right? And then they'll have all the information that's involved in their site address. These are, this information in here is kind of a template. Every time they make a new task, they can see this information, they can populate it in there, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a new feature we released recently, which is note templates. So
yeah, we really like all the extra things that we can do in here. And our team will go through and they'll, check these things off from the field if they know they're complete or whatnot, and update their progress.
Fantastic. And then you're pulling everything in using the inbox. So the inbox is that's how you get everything from projects into these boards. And are your filters based off of who's assigned so that okay, hey, we have sheet metal people assigned, or how do you do it?
My filter's all based off job number, right? Everything that's structured in Gantt is off job number. So like if I just type in 8950, it'll pull all the tasks that are involved in this job from the different boards so that we can pull one in here if we need to cross schedule, right? Obviously we can just hide completed. I don't need to see those because we don't need to cross schedule those. And the only other thing that we can do here is cross schedule this task because that one's already in there, right? Besides that, no other tasks are open in the project. So if we decided that for this work order that we have open, if we need a service member on it, we would just drag it over to this. I would change this to need to assign and schedule. When it's in this column, this flags the department to take it out of this field, to assign it to a technician and start building that documentation, right?
Fantastic. Do you have anything else related to the Gantt chart you want to show us with how you're working that?
This is our main view from our project managers. This is really what they want to see. They really want to see what's upcoming, what today's date is, which is obviously way over here. And, this gives them a really good idea of who all in a company is involved in what and where it's at on the schedule.
Do you feel like with TeamGantt, you have less dropped balls than before? Less things slipping through the cracks?
Oh yes, we definitely have less drop balls because now that everybody's involved in the scheduling, instead of just everybody pointing the finger at the shipping and receiving department on why they need to unload out to the crane, now that everybody can see these tiles, we can all kind of help them along and say, hey, have we confirmed that this equipment is on site for the crane? And it's just less panicking at early in the mornings where we're like, oh, we don't have something together. And that's why I tell everybody I'm gonna bring the task into Gantt so we can all monitor it and we can help that along. And if somebody's out, called in sick, something like that, we still have the information here and we can still help that task down the pipe, right?
Why would you recommend other people switch over and start using TeamGantt for their scheduling and project management?
TeamGantt is so user friendly and it allows the schedule to be built from an office perspective and driven and the pulse be held to it all the way out to the field. It's crucial to have this in place, right? Without this, there's just a lot of uncertainties. We can probably adopt Procore or something like that, but the company being as old as it is, and some people being here for 30, 40 years, it's harder to teach people how to use Procore, right, than it is something like TeamGantt. And TeamGantt just has a lot of customizability to it, and it's kind of like that blank canvas that we really need to make it work.
Well, fantastic. Matt, thank you a lot for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Not a problem.